That wasn't a gun. There is no hunter here, no soldier, no weapon anywhere. That loud, sharp crack that just ripped through the jungle, that came from a tree. And those things flying past your face right now, moving faster than a racing car, those are seeds. Just seeds. From a tree. Meet the sandbox tree, also called the dynamite tree, the tree that even monkeys are too scared to climb. This tree grows as tall as a 12-story building. Its trunk is covered in sharp black spikes, like hundreds of tiny knives pointing straight out. Its fruit looks like a small, round, harmless little pumpkin. Cute, friendly, completely safe looking, but when that little pumpkin is ready, it explodes. Not slowly, not quietly. It blows up with a sound exactly like a gunshot in the middle of the jungle, and it launches its seeds at 160 miles per hour. That is faster than a cheetah at full sprint, faster than any baseball pitch ever thrown by any human being. And those seeds travel the full length of a football field before they slow down. But here is the part nobody talks about. This same tree, this exploding, dangerous, terrifying tree, kept entire communities of people alive for hundreds of years. How does something so deadly become so essential to human survival? Stay with me. The sandbox tree grew up in one of the wildest places on Earth, the Amazon rainforest, a place where everything is either trying to eat something or trying not to get eaten. The air is thick, hot, and wet, like wearing a soaking wet blanket around your body every single moment of every single day. The sandbox tree was born here. It grew up surrounded by animals, insects, and plants, all fighting for the same food, the same water, the same sunlight, and it had to survive. So it built itself like a fortress. The famous scientist Carl Linnaeus named this tree back in the 1700s, over 300 years ago. He named it Hura crepitans. Crepitans is a Latin word. It means cracking, exploding. He heard about this tree once and immediately named it after the most terrifying thing it does. But long before any scientist came along, regular people already knew this tree, and they were already afraid of it. The Tupi people of Brazil called it a saku. People across the Caribbean called it the monkey no-climb tree, because even monkeys, animals that can climb almost anything, refused to go anywhere near it. Every culture that ever encountered this tree gave it a name that meant one thing: stay away. But some people did not stay away. The Caribs, the original people of the Caribbean islands, learned this tree's secrets. Instead of running from it, they collected the milky white liquid that drips from the bark. They used it to make poison for their arrows. This poison was so powerful it was said to make teeth fall right out of a person's mouth. For hundreds of years, this was their weapon, their protection, their survival. And fishermen across the Caribbean discovered something else. They would carry a small amount of this same liquid down to shallow streams and pour it into the water. Within minutes, fish would float right up to the surface, paralyzed, easy to catch, easy to bring home to feed their families. Hundreds of years before modern fishing gear existed, this tree was their rod, their net, and their trap all at once. Now let me show you exactly how this explosion actually works, because it is one of the most remarkable things in all of nature. The outside of the fruit is made of 16 separate sections, all arranged around a central point, like the segments of an orange but packed much tighter. As the fruit dries out in the tropical heat, each section slowly pulls inward, getting tighter, getting tighter, getting tighter. Think of it like pulling back a giant rubber band, very slowly over many days. When the tension finally gets too strong to hold, every single section snaps open at exactly the same moment. All that stored energy releases instantly, and the seeds explode outward like shrapnel. This tree did not develop this by accident. Over millions of years, it slowly perfected this exact mechanism, because a seed that lands right under its parent tree will die there. Too much shade, too many roots already taking the water, too much competition. But a seed that lands 100 meters away lands in open ground, in sunlight, in fresh soil. That seed has a real chance. Every explosion this tree makes is not an act of violence. It is a parent sending its children as far away as possible so they can have a better life. But the exploding seeds are not even the most dangerous part of this tree. That would be the sap. The sandbox tree produces a milky white liquid inside its bark. It looks completely harmless. It is not. If this liquid touches your skin, it causes a severe burning rash that does not stop spreading. If even one tiny drop touches your eyes, it can take away your ability to see. Sometimes temporarily, sometimes permanently. People who cut down these trees for lumber are required to wear full eye protection before they even pick up their tools, because this sap has blinded people. And here's the part that will genuinely surprise you. Scientists in the United States studied this same liquid and used it to help develop tear gas. A substance this tree made to stop monkeys from climbing it was turned into a weapon used by militaries and police forces around the world. A tree in the Amazon rainforest, making poison to protect itself from animals, unknowingly helped create one of the most widely used crowd control tools in human history. Now, here is something that sounds impossible, but it is completely true. The seeds of this tree contain a toxin that works similarly to ricin, one of the most dangerous natural poisons ever discovered. Eating just 2 or 3 seeds causes violent sickness, severe stomach pain, uncontrollable vomiting, in larger amounts, death. And yet, the indigenous people of the Amazon figured out how to eat it anyway. They discovered that toasting the seeds over fire breaks down just enough of the poison to make them safe in small amounts. They made traditional drinks with these toasted seeds. They pressed oil from the seeds and used it as medicine. They looked at one of the most poisonous foods on Earth and turned it into nourishment. That took generations of people, carefully and patiently learning the secrets of this tree. And now, modern scientists are confirming in their laboratories what those communities already knew. Oil from Sandbox seeds is packed with natural compounds that fight inflammation inside the human body. These compounds are now being studied as possible treatments for arthritis, diabetes, certain cancers, and diseases of the brain and nervous system. The same seed that carries one of nature's deadliest poisons also carries compounds that might one day save human lives. Indigenous people knew this all along. Scientists are only just catching up. Now here is the fact that changes everything, the one nobody ever mentions. Centuries ago, before ballpoint pens, before printing presses, people wrote everything by hand with quill pens dipped in ink and wet ink smears. So people would sprinkle fine dry sand over fresh ink to soak it up quickly. To carry that sand, they needed a small container, something round, something that held sand without spilling. They used the dried fruit of the sandbox tree. That same shell that had weeks before been building up explosive pressure inside itself was now sitting quietly on the desks of scholars, kings, and ordinary people all over the world, holding sand, being used like a salt shaker. That is where the name sandbox tree came from. Not from the explosion, not from the poison, not from the sap that blinds you, from a sandbox, from something as simple and gentle as a container of sand. The most explosive tree on Earth was named after something you find on a children's playground. For hundreds of years, people picked up this fruit, carried it in their bags, set it on their desks, and used it every single day, with absolutely no idea what it had been capable of when it was alive. No idea what was hiding inside something that looked so perfectly ordinary. And that is the thought I want to leave you with. Not the explosion, not the poison, not the blindness. This, what are we walking past right now, today, that we think is completely ordinary? What other secrets is nature hiding inside things that look perfectly safe and harmless? Every leaf has a story. This one just happened to sound like a gunshot. Now I want to hear from you. The Carib people used this tree's liquid as arrow poison for centuries. Caribbean fishermen poured it into streams to catch fish and feed their families. And scientists used compounds from this same tree to help develop tear gas. Which of those 3 surprises you the most? And why? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I read every single one. If this tree just changed the way you see the world a little bit, send this video to someone who thinks they already know everything about nature. They will never look at a pumpkin the same way again. Thank you for spending this time with me. Next time, we are going inside the tree that slowly and quietly poisons everything growing around it, while none of its neighbors have any idea what is happening. Stay curious, stay wild, and remember, every leaf has a story. This is Professor Leaf. See you in the next one.